We've talked about his backstory, now it's time to talk a little bit about his abilities. And when we last left off, I mentioned that he became a devout follower of a cult-like religion known as Jashin. Jashin is both the name of the deity and the religion in which Hidan practices. He used some of their rituals, one in particular, to give himself immortality by sacrificing a lot of people all at once, is the implication. Couple fun facts about Jashin: you can find references in the Dungeons & Dragons wiki in the 5th edition for Jashin, and the practice is the same. The symbol is the exact same. The idea is a deity who is dedicated to destruction and death, and all of that fun stuff that goes along with it, and he encourages his practitioners to spread it as much as possible. In addition, the symbol itself seems to be an inverted triangle, which, similar to an inverted pentagram in the West, it kind of associates it with an occult-like following. And lastly, it's also the alchemical symbol for water. Fun fact. With that in mind, I can say Hidan is a skilled fighter, and his first and primary goal is to draw his opponent's blood, and he does that by using this very, very, very bladed weapon, which is essentially a 3-bladed scythe on a cable. It's not really practical for dealing fatal blows. Its primary and really only purpose is to draw blood. That's why there's so many blades for him to do that with. Once he's drawn that blood, he consumes it in the most salacious way he knows how. I don't know if that's a requirement, but he certainly delivers, and then draws the symbol of Jashin on the ground beneath him. That completes the ritual, and his body takes on a Baron Samedi-like appearance, black skin with white bone markings all over his body. In this form, he's now linked to whoever's blood he's consumed, therefore making himself a sort of human voodoo doll for them. As long as he's standing in this circle and is in this state, any attack on him or his opponent will be shared and duplicated between the two of them. And like a Prosecco and a fine brie, it pairs just lovely with his immortality and sadism. Now, Hidan is a connoisseur of pain and torment, and he tends to take his time at this point, enjoying inflicting as many weird injuries or as painful ones as he can think of on himself to therefore hurt his opponent. Only when he's done with their torment and torture does he then deliver a fatal blow by, say, stabbing himself in the heart, which of course is not fatal to him. Hidan's immortality granted by Jashin is such that any fatal attack is not going to be fatal to him. In fact, the only known limit that we have is that he does need to intake nourishment in his body, or he will eventually starve. It doesn't take days, it takes years, which does come into play in his final fate in the next part.